So,
Yeah, the first time I had someone mention that class, I was like, what? Like, you're going to Davis? Question mark.
yeah, so it was a peer counseling avid class, and if somebody wants to summarize the activity that was going on in there.
Basically, we went to see a gallery walk, so students were collaborating to create posters that they hung on the wall, and then they work in groups. So they have a sheet that they go around to try to find information, and they discuss with their groups the information so that they can learn and collaborate as a team.
Excellent description. Let's give a lot of
Sorry.
Is the camera getting closer or are we getting bigger? That is the question.
Here we go. Just in case, because sometimes it doesn't pick up the volume enough. All right.
But I will say, I really liked the fact that she had this this pre-printed kind of worksheet thing for the kids when they were in the groups to actually kind of focus in what they were looking for as they did their walks as their team to help focus those conversations with their team. So I put that in there, you know, having that predetermined kind of guided reflection. And this final reflection piece I thought was incredible. You know, when I was looking at this, to actually bring it all home and to deepen those conversations that they were having. I think this is really where it brings it all together.
I agree. Yeah, I was super impressed.
There is the back. She said gives them the guidelines to their to the expectations of how they should behave in the activity. Yeah, and I agree. I really like the questions. We do gallery walks. Ours are a little different. We give a sentence prompt that says like, I would add, or could you tell me more? And then they would, you know, fill in the rest. But I like the guided because often what happens in those gallery walks, the kids are like, I really like your handwriting. I really like your pictures. Nice. Well, you know, I really wish you would add more pictures. And it's like, no, guys, the conversation should look at the essential question. Remember what your objective is. But with this, it keeps them on task. And I really, it forces conversation, and it forces them to go deeper. So
also with the expectations on the back,
perfect.
you can just, if they have a question like, Mister, what do I do? Just like check the back.
Check the back. How would you all like incorporate this into your lesson?
So one of the things that I've noticed, I've tried doing gallery walks and I tend to just not have enough time. I asked and she said it took more than a couple of days to get it going that well. So for me, it would kind of require a little bit more time devoted to it. So probably like a gallery walk with scaffolded work aiding that would be like what I would try and do.
Yeah, all activities, like anytime you're teaching kids a new strategy, it takes a while. It takes a while. I would say on average, they should probably master about 4 a year. Like in science, they will probably get 4 strategies that you use that they would actually like remember how to use. But she's right, it takes a while. How would you use it?
I'm actually thinking, because we're in interdependence right now, about doing something where they create their own ecosystem that doesn't require a whole lot of time. You cut out pictures from magazines, put them on the board, create your own ecosystem, and they can talk about it. We can talk about the differences in them, of course, the living versus non-living. They have the abiotic and biotic things down. They're not quite getting, I think they struggle more with the abiotic. Like, can I count a tree in this?
Oh, okay. All right.
No,
So
you can
I
count the
understand,
water.
yeah.
Like if you put a stream on there, you can count the water. Can you assume, and we did a slide today for bell work that was 5 minutes that turned into 10 minutes because they're like, well, we can't see the rocks though. We can't see the dirt.
Oh, the things that are like
what
under
is
the
it
water.
growing in? Right.
Oh, okay.
What is it growing in? So, does the sky count? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what you're saying is for your students, if you incorporate
I
this,
wonder if that would be
they'll
fun for
make
them
kind of
where
like
they can make their own.
a one-pager or a poster that represents some kind of ecosystem and label how things interact.
I
stuff
would
like that.
try to keep it because I think it can go sideways really fast to this lesson focuses on Florida ecosystems.
Okay.
That we, if we did something like that, it would have to be what would you create for an Everglades ecosystem? What about a beach ecosystem?
Correct.
It would have to be something in Florida, because then I feel like, yeah, I have those kids that would be like, wow, this is in Egypt, so I looked it up, and there we are. So it would have to be very specific,
It would.
and those guided notes come in really handy. They do.
And my follow-up on this, so we said all the good things that we enjoyed about her lesson, which was really good. What are some things what are some opportunities that she had?
You know, I don't even know. I'm new enough and I was impressed enough that I honestly don't know. I thought it was really good and it seemed to be working until one kid maybe got a little sideways on something completely unrelated.
Right.
I would say at the end, because I didn't see the end, did they get what was intended
Good question.
out of it? That would be my,
Wonder.
and we don't know. Yeah.
I remember that with the project, you mentioned that there was voting, and whoever came in first place would basically get some kind of prize or whatever. Now, my question becomes, is there any way to kind of prevent that from turning into a popularity contest rather than being an actual, this assignment's the best? Because that is something I've seen in the
That
past.
there's a reward for
Good
all,
question.
for participating, for completing the project, working well with their peers,
And then
accomplishing
there's
the expectations. Maybe first place gets, like she said, the little basket, but rewarding all the students for participation, good work, collaboration, their research, all of that would be warranted.
Well, but the question is, because if you're looking at the rubric, you know, your final reflection is how does this learning about these figures shape your perspective on history and social change?
Yeah.
Is that how we're wrapping up the activity,
No,
or are we wrapping up the activity on, hey, which poster is the coolest? And that's where you've really gotta be careful with these types of activities, is what is the actual end goal and how are the students perceiving the purpose of this
Yeah.
activity? We do things all the time in class that can be a lot of fun and seem super engaging and the kids seem all in,
Yeah.
but you gotta be careful with what they're actually taking away from it. Are they just taking away it was fun, or are they actually taking away?
Making sure they understand the meaning. I
Right.
think with ours, like incorporating into science, in the current unit, I can immediately think of units where this would not work. But this
I can see
unit,
that, right.
right away.
Yeah.
Interdependence and the ecosystems and learning what's in a particular ecosystem in Florida, I think that's more concrete and doesn't allow for that stray, places. So I think ours would be a little bit more, they're just discussing living versus non-living. So I think it'd be kind of a cool thing for them to do in this unit.
And so far, yeah, and the unit does,
Open up more.
so
Yeah.
you can do relationships and build
Yeah.
on it, even if they start the
Well, that's
poster
what
with
I was
living and
thinking,
non-living.
yeah, so if they
and then they
have
can
that,
build
then
on it.
now what do you see on your poster?
And they can say,
Now
oh, what about the
do you-
food web? Yeah, so you
Yeah.
can you can definitely build on it.
I think that's a
Um,
neat idea.
Now, I also had another question. So, with the area of opportunity, how many students had a paper? How many students were writing versus students who were a part of the group? Like, how does she group her kids? How many kids were in each group?
I saw about 4 kids in each group, 4 to 5. That's what I saw.
2 groups of 6, but
And how many kids were writing in the group?
I saw 1 kid writing.
when
Out
I
of 6 kids.
When I
Okay.
looked at first, I saw a decent amount of them writing, but at the same time, they were all kind of doing the first part, which was writing all their group members' names on the paper.
Oh, so that's
So
why
they
it
were
looked like they
taking
were all
turns.
writing, because they
Yeah.
were all passing the paper down.
Well,
But I did see some collaboration with them talking
Mhm.
and saying, what do you think? I saw a couple kids that might back up or be a little bit more shy. I did see a decent amount of conversation with the kids talking about the posters, looking at what they created, and not just standing up against the wall, dinging around or putting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right, so 1 kid was writing, there were about 5 other kids. They were talking, but the question is, were all kids talking? Were all 6 kids engaged
probably.
in writing on that paper?
No.
So how could we change that? What would be an easy fix, actually?
Smaller groups.
Okay, smaller groups. That's a good one, because she only had 3 stations. Now, her room is really small,
Yeah.
and she only had 3 stations, so I could see it. But yeah, smaller groups, right?
Moving from 3 groups of 5 to 6 to 4 groups of 4 would
Yeah.
probably alone kind of force a little bit more interaction even with the shy ones. Also, sorry to interrupt, we do have about 8 minutes left before the
All right.
start of the next period, so
Thank you.
kind of being a little timekeeper
Yeah.
just in case.
Perfect. All right, so you mentioned, smaller groups, good. What else could help with that?
So something I remember trying in one of the things I've done, what's it called, a Socratic seminar, was kind of trying to have it so that everyone has to interact, and you have like someone else kind of grading
Each
them on
person
it.
has a job, maybe, like where one person says, okay, on this guided notes, I'll do section 1. This person does
Rotating
section
job.
2, rotating the responsibility of
Rotating
what's
the
being
scribe.
written.
Right, yeah, rotating the scribe, the question
Yeah.
number, smaller groups.
Yeah.
Each student could have a paper because it is reflection. They could all be writing at the same
Their
time.
own reflection.
And then they have
of
numbers, so if we did the smaller groups, student 1 could be responsible for number 1, like, as they discuss it, but they could be responsible. So those are ways, because luckily, we got in there at a good time, but 20 minutes, 15 minutes in, usually the kids you saw the kids who were standing there. They were listening and they were standing, but they weren't
engaged.
fully engaged
Yeah.
in it, which gives them room to, do other things.
Wander.
So that is a couple ways that we could do it. And in the future, okay, we talked about how we can use that. Are there any other questions or statements or comments that we need to
I really
think
liked
about?
it overall.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I
I
thought
enjoyed
it
that.
was.
Well, it's a really cool strategy, and it's a powerful strategy when it's done well, but it's
Mhm.
one that if you do not have the organizational skills, it can get out of hand really quick.
100%.
Like the foldable.
Not quite,
Sorry,
but yes.
is that being in my own tape?
No.
I'm not doing another foldable.
You know what? Foldables were one of those things when you first start, yes, and then once you do the gallery walk, you realize how easy the foldable is. And you're like, you know what? I'd rather just do foldables.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's absolutely correct. And this is why I really like this, because it guides their discussions. And what else? Oh, she had the timer. Everybody, timer,
Oh, yeah, at
timer,
a certain
timer,
time,
timer, timer.
Well,
It
timers
wasn't
are your friends
displayed
for
though,
almost
but it
every
was the
strategy.
timer.
I mean, almost everything you do,
Yes.
timers are your friend in teaching.
Yep, the kids are fascinated with, I got 5 minutes left. Oh no, I better do this
Yeah.
40 minutes worth of work right now.
I actually pulled the inconspicuous timer out last period because there were just too many kids goofing off and not finishing an assignment that should have
Yeah.
been done. I was out on Friday with a sick kid. Sick husband too, but like your girl. No offense.
They need it though.
And they just didn't do it. So I'm like, you know what, if this is not done today, I'm giving you 20 minutes. We've started the next unit for 20 minutes. I'm giving you today only, super sale. You have 20 minutes to
Right,
get this
that's
done.
it.
And I saw some of them goofing off again, and I said, you know what, you can goof all you want. It's 100 points, and if you don't finish it today, then you just get credit for whatever you have done. And that can pull your grade down a lot. I mean, quarter ends in 2.5 weeks.
Perfect.
And that really snapped a few in. Plus one girl, I was looking up test scores, unexpectedly did amazing on the last unit test.
Okay.
So I kept her behind and gave her a treat, showed her her score, and talked to her about applying herself to get out of a class like that and moving on.
Good. Good. So you're having those